want to talk about is the fundamentals. We've been dealing with short game quite a bit, putting, chipping, pitching the ball. How many of you have learned something in your short game, something different that you didn't do before? Okay, any better? Are you getting better at it?
Yeah.
Okay, might be the high shot, might be a low shot. Maybe it's just fine tuning in your putting. But today we're going to advance on. Today we're going to go into the full swing. We all know that you've played golf. We all know that you know how to hit the golf ball. But the fundamentals are probably the most important part of the swing. They set you up for a good swing. I always tell people if they have a mediocre swing and a great setup, they'll hit good shots and they'll be consistent. If they have a poor setup and a great swing, doesn't do you much good because your setup's going to cost you some of your shots. And all we're looking for is your setup to create airborne shots that are solid. Okay? How many of you hit grounders once in a while? Yep, we all hit grounders once in a while. All right? So what we want is we want a setup that doesn't do that. The first and most important thing is the grip. So what we're going to do, we're not going to spend a lot of time in a group session on grip, okay? But we do want to tell you when we come by your individual station that the grip in the left hand, how many of we have left-handers? One left-hander, okay? In the top hand, the top hand has to be strong enough, okay? That's important because if we have it too much in the palm, that causes a lot of problems with slicing. All right, so we're going to take a look at each of your individual grips to make sure that your top hand is more gripped in the fingers, okay? And normally for you righties, I would say your left hand, but since Eddie's here, I say the top hand. So Eddie, it'd be your right hand. We want to make sure that the handle is more in the fingers, all right? That's the most important part of the grip, all right? The next thing we want to talk about is posture, how we stand to the ball. So a lot of you, unfortunately, we sit at our desks, we sit in the car, we get a little slumpy, we look like old grandpas, okay? What we want to do is make sure we tilt from the hips. So if anybody's ever taught you how to play golf and they said bend from the waist, this is what you should look like when you bend from the waist. All right, we're looking for you to tip from a bone structure, which is kind of sticking your bottom out a little bit, okay? It's bending over or tipping from the hips. It's not bending from the waist. My waist is way up here, my hips are way down here. We stick our bottom out a little bit, and we make sure our back is nice and straight. When we have a straight back, we can turn our body around our spine on one angle, and then our arms go right down to the ground. Those of you that hit top shots, I guarantee you posture is half of it, okay? The other thing that might cause a top shot is ball position. How many of you play a driver at your front foot? Where else do you play it? Okay. How many of you play a wedge in the back of your stance? Ooh, we're going to catch a few here. Wedge should be in the middle, and then every club that gets longer, 8-iron, 7-iron, 6-iron, towards your driver should be towards the front of the stance. I don't play anything in the back of my stance except for a chip shot, okay? So my 7-iron is going to be in front of center. This would be about my pitching wedge right there. Of course, you know where driver goes, up at the front of the stance, all right? And every club changes in length just a little bit. So if I have a 7-iron and a 6-iron here, you'll see that they're about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch difference in length. That's how much you should change your ball position. Just that little bit every time. So each club that you have, wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron, 7-iron, 6-iron, they all creep forward a little bit, okay? And finally, the last thing is aim or alignment. Where do we have our body? So I see a lot of junior golfers, they'll get their feet a little open and then their shoulders a little closed, or vice versa. Their feet will be a little crooked and their shoulders will be the other way. We're looking for you to have straight posture with your back and then tip over from the hips so that way your shoulders and your feet match. You can see here that I'm aligned properly with this golf club on the ground. So this thing has me going right towards the red flag actually. So this would give me a good shot and good alignment, good ball position, good posture, and hopefully a good grip. Does anybody have any questions? Those are the 4 fundamentals. Okay, so I'm a PGA pro. Andy's a PGA pro. So instead of Professional Golfers Association, we like to call it posture, grip, and alignment. All right, and then we throw a B on the end for ball position. Okay, so 4. There's only 4 fundamentals. There aren't any other fundamentals. That's it. Can everybody remember those? All right, we're going to come around and look at your grip. So everybody spread out.